So my name is Kim Snider, and I'm a secondary teacher in Toronto, and I've been a teacher for 16 years. So my teachables are English and drama, but I also teach gender studies, even though I'm not technically qualified. And in addition to teaching, I'm the past president of CODE, which is the Council of Ontario Drama and Dance Educators, which is the subject association for drama and dance in Ontario. And I am the former secretary of IDEA, which is the International Drama Education Association, and I sometimes teach drama AQs for York University. So I was an English major and a theater minor in university, so partly I was just really interested in those subjects, and they were subjects I liked. But I think for me, English I always knew I wanted to teach, and drama I came to because it was a course that I really loved in high school, and I always say, to me what was so powerful about drama is I felt like we could talk about anything in drama class, we could explore anything, like no topic was ever off limits, because you have to make drama about something. So drama is like inherently cross-curricular, because what are you going to make drama about? You just have to connect to like other subjects and other issues. So to me it just felt really free and really open and non-traditional, which appealed to me. And I just thought it had a lot of social benefits as well, so that's partly why I wanted to teach it. Well, I would say for English and drama, they're both very different. I mean, English is the one class you have to take every year of high school, so it's valued in the sense that it's a requirement, it's a compulsory course, it's always going to be there. The literacy test for sure gives it clout that even though the literacy test is not an English test, it's still perceived as an English test. So I think the focus on literacy and numeracy is what's dominating education right now, and part of that is driven by standardized testing. But drama and the arts is most definitely kind of under siege right now, I think for a lot of different reasons. The curriculum is kind of old now. It came out in 2009, so there's this sense of like it's past and there's no money or resources being devoted towards it. It's an elective, and ever since they got rid of the 5th year of high school and students now go to high school for fewer years, there's less room in their timetable for elective courses. So sections of the arts are going down in secondary schools because there's not enough room to take them. And then it's also seen as a soft subject. All the arts are seen as soft subjects that maybe are not as intellectually rigorous as other subjects. And then the other issue is that they're seen as subjects that will not get you a job, that will not train you for a job. And so they're a hard sell in lots of schools because they don't seem to lead directly to a well-paying job. I mean, it's kind of common knowledge that arts jobs are hard to get and don't pay well. So why would you take that? So that I think is the culture of what's happening in Ontario in terms of arts and humanities versus STEM, which is like the big new thing. So to me, there are sort of, drama is a really complicated subject. I mean, all subjects are complicated, but I think drama particularly is, and very frequently misunderstood. Like when I teach teachers drama in an AQ course, they show up to my AQ course on the first day thinking that they're going to learn how to be actors and put on a play. Like that's their perception of what drama is. And then very soon do they realize that like the whole kind of world of drama education and process drama is a whole other aspect of drama that they're usually not very familiar with. So to me, there's sort of 3 things I would say. There's drama for social learning, so the social benefits of drama. So being confident, learning how to speak well, learning how to relate with other people. Drama is one of the few subjects in school that's social, right? Drama is the social art. You have to do drama with other people. So a lot of it is about social relationships and being able to relate to other people and, stepping into another person's shoes and seeing the world from a different point of view, building empathy, like all of those character education things that we talk about. Drama, like it's a no-brainer. Drama does that. It's always done that. That's what it does. So there's that element. Then there's drama as an art form, like as a discrete art form, theater and art itself. And then the third thing is drama as a teaching methodology. So you can use drama to teach other subjects. And that's usually when I teach teachers, especially elementary teachers, that's when the light bulb really goes off for them, of when they actually learn that, like, using role-playing or hot seating and asking character questions, or a simulation where we go back in time and we're all people, you know, Jacques Cartier, and we're gonna go explore this. When they realize that they can use drama techniques to actually teach geography curriculum or social science curriculum, English curriculum, that's drama as a teaching tool, as a methodology for teaching. So for me, drama is important because it's so malleable. It's really, really flexible and malleable. And then I think the other thing that maybe sounds silly, but I think is really important, is that for a lot of kids, drama is really fun. And I think that it's actually quite sad that there's not a lot of fun in school anymore. Like, there's not a lot of subjects that kids really find fun and enjoyable. And when I was doing my master's research and I would interview kids about, or I would ask them what makes drama different from other subjects, they would say, we're learning, but it doesn't feel like we're learning, which always made me a bit sad, because it's like, oh, you're kind of saying that learning isn't fun. But it's that idea of we can enjoy ourselves at the same time as we learn things. And I think in drama that happens every day, but it doesn't always happen every day in other classrooms. And then I think the other thing that's really important about drama is it's kinesthetic, and it's one of the few kinesthetic subjects we still have in school, like gym and drama. There is something so freeing about taking away desks and chairs from kids and letting them move around, especially teenagers. Like, they need to move. And one of the things that strikes me all the time is that my colleagues in other subjects, and when I teach English, constantly complain about kids not being focused, not being able to pay attention, appearing distracted. Those issues almost never come up in a drama class, because they can move and they're kinesthetically engaged and they're not as bored. They're just not as bored. So I think, to me, those are real benefits of drama that can be harnessed for lots of different uses, and why it's still, why it's an important subject in school. Well, I think it's tricky. I mean, on one level you could say, oh, well, we use technology in drama, we use lighting and sound and like all of these kind of technological tools. But the reality of most school classrooms is very few drama teachers have access to those kinds of tools. Like, very few teachers teach in a studio with a lighting grid, or have a soundboard or things like that. So there's like that component. Although theater tech is one of the few fields in the arts where you can get a well-paying job. So like at this school, theater tech is really popular, right? But I think for me, the biggest philosophical conflict between drama and STEM is that drama is about live human beings in a room together, and the unique thing that happens when human beings are all in one space. And I think as soon as you start introducing like machines or virtual experiences that like mediate that face-to-face experience, you have to question whether it's drama. And this is what the theater world is contending with right now. People are worried that theater as an art form is dying. And there are a lot of attempts by theaters to use technology in interesting ways, like to stream plays online, or to use social media technology like as part of the play. And there's a lot of pushback to that, because there's a feeling that that's no longer theater. We're now getting into film, and we're losing the humanity of the art, and the art is all about the humanity. Like, sort that's what it's about. Yeah, like that's what makes theater different from film, right? It's like we're in a room together. Like, one of my favorite things to do at the end of a drama course is to say to my students, look at us. There's 30 people in an empty room, virtually empty room, for 10 months. And we have kept ourselves totally entertained and occupied with just ourselves. Like, how amazing is that? That we tell each other's stories to better understand why we're here. Like, that's essentially, to me, what drama is. That's what literature is too, I think. And so as soon as you start introducing technological tools, I think it's troubling. I feel very ambivalent about it. Very ambivalent about the use of technology in drama. And I don't use it a lot. I really don't. And that's partly like a practical choice of like not having it. And also because like I forbid phones in the drama classroom, and I tell them, you have screens around you virtually your entire day. The drama room is one of the last places on earth where you don't need a screen in front of you. So, and I think probably lots of drama teachers feel similarly to me about that. I think you have to, I think, yes, but I guess maybe I think that the broadening is not on the part of the arts people, it's on the part of the technology people. Like, I think that that technology has to, STEM has to re-envision like what the humanities can do for them. So, for example, creativity and innovation are like these big buzzwords in the world right now, like in the field of education, but also in like finance and corporations and stuff like that. There's this real sense of like, you can invent things all you want, you can invent new tech, you can create new technology, but you can make the technology, but if you don't have the creative minds to like envision what it could look like, then you're in trouble. So like in China, for example, they can make iPhones, but are they building the capacity of someone who's going to invent the next iPhone? Well, probably not, because their school system doesn't stress critical thinking or creative thinking. It's very rote learning, absorption, regurgitate facts and figures. So there's this kind of recognition that education has to change and become more focused on creativity and innovation and problem solving in order to innovate and create new technology. And so my question is, if you don't have the arts, then where are you going to create, like, how are people going to be creative? Like, if they're not creative thinkers, like that's what the arts does. So if you eliminate arts from school, how do you think that you're going to have STEM? Like, you're not going to have creative problem solvers. Or you're going to have really smart people who can't communicate, work as a team, relate to other people, express their thoughts. So there's a real movement, like globally, especially in places like Korea and Japan and China. There's a real desire in like corporations to train people in the arts. Like, there are drama practitioners going into like Kodak and Suzuki and doing like drama team building exercises with executives because they're really smart, but they have no idea how to lead a team or get along with each other socially, and even presenting in a confident way to a room full of people is really challenging and was not part of their training. So there's something that STEM can learn from the arts, I think. And my big thing, like in terms of policy and advocacy in Ontario and in Canada, is you can't keep saying creativity and innovation and not mention the arts. Because what you're talking about when you say creativity and innovation is the arts. And if you don't actually explicitly name it, it's going to get eliminated. Like, it just won't be there anymore. For me, drama is less about theater and making theater and performance, and more about the processes that go into performance. So we often say here that we're making theater makers. And when I say a theater maker, I mean the writer, the director, the improviser, the actor, the technician, the designer. Like, all of those different skills go into what drama is. So it's about creative process and about creative thinking. And then the other part of that is that drama is about being able to examine and talk about humanity, conflicts that we see, issues that we feel passionate about. It's a place for us to have those discussions and to explore them. And it's also a place where you can be someone else for a little while, which for children is incredibly freeing. Like, You think about how many young people are dealing with issues related to their identity where they just need a break from being who they are for a little while, and I think drama gives them an outlet for that, that not a lot of other subjects do. So I think to me it's very complicated. It does lots of things. But yeah, I would say that it's less about performance and more about process.